doing? Steve Kim here. So excited. Steve Kim Show episode number 243. The much anticipated June stats are in, and as usual, I got your numbers and your stats as they pertain to the detached and townhome markets for both Toronto and pockets of the GTA. So let's get right into the numbers. So that average detached property in Toronto back in May 2023 was trading just over $1.91 million. Fast forward into June, dropped slightly to $1.79 million. Now don't forget, this is the average across all detached properties across Toronto. So it's not saying that all detached properties have dropped by this amount. It's just that at this price point, around the 1.6 and 1.8, that has fueled the majority of the detached sales in Toronto, which is obviously going to bring down the overall average price. In Richmond Hill, an average detached property in May was trading on $2.06 million. Fast forward into June, it crept up to just over $2.17 million. In Markham, we went from $1.9 million for detached in May down to $1.82 into June. And then in Vaughan, we went from $1.93 million in May down to $1.82 million into June. Now, months of inventory, that's an important number to pay attention to. And on my previous Steve Kim show, I had said that some of the inventory that's not moving in May is going to push over into June, which is going to bump up our months of inventory or our available supply. So detached properties in Toronto in May, we went from 1.3 months of inventory to up to 1.7 into June. In Richmond Hill, we went from 1.6 months of inventory now up to 2.8, almost 3 months of inventory for detached properties in Richmond Hill. So what does that say? That's saying not necessarily that we have more supply, it's just we have standing supply. Those detached properties in May that didn't sell in May pushed over into the month of June. In Markham, we went from 1.3 months of inventory in May for detached properties up to 1.5 into June. And in Vaughan, we went from 1.4 up to 2 months of inventory for detached properties in Vaughan in June. Now, regarding the townhome markets in Toronto, the average townhome property in May was trading at $1.32 million. Fast forward into June, it drops just a little, around $1.29 million. In Richmond Hill, we went from 1.36 in May for townhomes down to 1.3 into June. In Markham, we went from $1.33 million up slightly to $1.37 million into June. And then in Vaughan, we went from $1.25 million for an average townhome property in May up to 1.27 into June. Now, months of inventory, watch this one because we see the supply numbers go up. Not necessarily more supply, but standing inventory pushing over into June. For townhomes in Toronto, we went from 1 month of inventory up to 1.2 into June. In Richmond Hill, we went from 1.2 months of inventory into May, more than doubling to 2.5 months of inventory into June. In Markham, we went from 0.6 months of inventory to 1.2, and then Vaughan went from 0.8 up to 2. So right across the board in terms of inventory levels, we are still very much in a healthy seller's market. We really need to be around the 4 to 5 months of inventory for a balanced market. Now, that average detached property in Toronto back in June 2022 was trading around $1.74 million. Like I shared with you, now is trading at $1.79 million in June 2023, and that's an increase on an average detached property around 2.9%. In the York region, what happened? An average detached property in the York region back in June 2022 was trading at $1.61 million. Fast forward 1 year, June 2023, average detached property in New York region is now trading at $1.74 million, which equates to an 8.1% increase. Yes, an 8.1% increase for an average detached property in York region despite all of these rate hikes. Anyways, I hope you found these numbers and this information useful. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me over a DM or an email. As always, Baby Cat, take care.